And you're running as a Democrat because I guess having the machine will help you somehow?
Yeah, you know, Alex, I listened to your pal, Jesse Ventura, who I admire very much, and I listened to the people that ran Jesse's campaign, and they told me what works in Minnesota will work in Texas. Human nature. And the truth is, we're not in Minnesota, Toto. That's the truth. Texas is very different. There's more people in Houston than there are in Minnesota.
Well, this was 8 years later. You know, he had the CIA 2 weeks into office, 23 of them visiting to find out how he won, and the system's done a lot to try to stop independence since then.
Oh, there's no question. We did the spiritually correct thing because I felt that the Democrats were getting too close to the Republicans. There wasn't much difference between the two. And the truth is, what has made the Democrats great over the past century is populism, is they stood up for the people against these big corporations and special interests, which is what you're doing, whether you like it or not. You're a Democrat.
Well, I understand that we didn't even have parties at first in this country, and they are always interchanging, Republican, Democrat, what it means. You are for controlling the borders. How is that going to fit into the Democratic Party? I mean, we know with Democrats that's actually popular, but the party leadership won't do anything about it.
Well, I would say that a lot of my views are libertarian. Yeah. I mean, one of them is the border. Another is toll roads. I want to roll back all toll roads, get rid of all of them, and pay for them with casino gambling. That has never been tried in any state. That would work. The lottery, boy, the more I read about the lottery, we're getting hosed so bad on the Texas lottery. I was in the Austin airport 2 weeks ago, and this guy, Larry Throm, came up to me and gave me his card. Very nice guy. He's the executive CFO of the Dallas Independent School District. Before that, he was the CFO of the Austin Independent School District. So I asked Larry, is there any evidence that this money going to the lottery is coming to education as it's supposed to? Do you see any evidence of that? He says, no, I don't see any because there isn't any.
What about all the weird scandals with the lottery?
Well, there you go. They fired the last 3 directors, and paid them off big bucks in rapid succession. The problem with the lottery is it's owned by an Italian corporation. And we go through G-Tech. That's the way we do this thing. And the Georgia lottery is owned by the state of Georgia. And that's why the Georgia lottery sends every kid with a B average in high school to college free for 4 years in Georgia. And this year, for the first time, Georgia University of Georgia, has 2 Rhodes Scholars. No other institution in the country has them. They're from the Hope Scholarship, which comes right out of the Georgia lottery. Georgia, I think, is number 18 or 19 in education in the whole time.
Well, how did that scam work? How does the lottery money not get to education?
Well, here's how it happens.
I guess because Don Carleone runs the lottery.
No, here's how it happens. Rick Perry and the powers that be put it right into the education fund, general fund. And then they take it out when they need it for highways or for other things. They can always get money. And this fund, as Alex Jones would tell you, if you really trust the government and you think they're totally honest, great. Most people no longer do. They're taking this money, they're fleecing it. Lobbyists and politicians are taking that money and using it for their own cause, and it never gets to.
Well, I want to talk more. Well, I want to talk more about your policies and also your gubernatorial campaign site. But what about Rick Perry? Did you see in the newspaper where he was the first U.S. statesman ever, first high-level politician to admit he went to the Bilderberg Group meeting? It was in the Dallas Morning News, which, by the way, is a violation of the Logan Act. You can't go to a private meeting to discuss policy, which they admit they do there. And he's so arrogant, he admitted that he did that. I mean, as governor, would you call for an investigation of that or try to stop that?
Well, I think Rick Perry has, look, he's a guy who's great at jumping in front of parades. Alex, you know very well, we've never heard a whimper from Rick about states' rights or about libertarianism or anything.
Until he got popular.
Well, then he jumped in front of the teabag parade, yes. And he is better friends with the German government, with the European governments, and with the Mexican government than he is with the people of Texas. And he likes being governor, and that's where the story ends. He and Kay Bailey have been in the hands of big...
Well, she is on the Bilderberg steering committee. You talk about big, evil offshore banks that are raping this country for $14.8 trillion. She is on the steering committee, and then now she reportedly brought him in. What are those two doing? Are they staging something to split up vote to stop you or something? I mean, what's going on there? Because we know these two are working together. Well, and they act like they're fighting on the surface.
Let's get those Barbies out of here, is what I say. They're both they're both former cheerleaders. You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, we don't need more cheerleader leaders.
Did you know they were hall monitors?
Yes. So these are little tattletales.
Yeah, they are, and I think the state's tired of them. And I think you've got a huge amount of disgruntled Republicans For all I know, you might be one of those folks, but people who at one time believed in either Rick or Kay, and now they don't. And I'll tell you what, when Rick and Kay turn around after this bloodbath that's coming, this two locomotives colliding, they're going to find all the Ron Paul people are going to be gone. They're all going to be kinky Democrats.
Well, I know this, Kinky. I agree with you on about 80% of the stuff you do, and that's as much as I agree with my wife. So, I mean, that's, not bad, but at the same time, I know you're better than these establishment candidates. Kinky Friedman, 1,000,000 times better than Kay Bailey Hutchinson, the cheerleader, Bilderberg Group steering committee member. I mean, top globalist, top corrupt New World Order, and then Rick Perry, the toady of the group. I certainly hope you kick their butts.
We intend to.
What's the battle plan to get that done?
Well, for one thing, we're just ending the exploratory phase. We're very soon going to jump full into this thing, pull the trigger. And part of that is going to be going out on a listening tour where I can sharpen my listening skills, Alex, which do need some sharpening. And meet the teachers, meet the county chairs, meet the people in places where Democrats fear to tread. That's the Obama strategy, actually. He was going on a 50-state strategy. Everybody told him you can't win Virginia, you can't.
All right, stay there. Got a break. Let's come back here more about your strategy, more about the websites, kinkyfriedman.com, linked up on InfoWars.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.
Well, he is a Texas original, as I said earlier. Kinky Friedman is our guest in studio running for governor. And he's the only chance you've got to not have Kay Bailey Hutchinson or Rick Perry, the two cheerleaders. And the only question is which one of them is more Nelly than the other. But, that's fine. The issue is that Kinky Friedman is the real deal, and his daddy was up there in the airplanes with my granddaddy over Europe in World War II. That's a small world. I keep going back to what my dad called and said, they were in some of the same squadrons and things in Europe. That was really wild, small world. He learned that from your dad when he was at UT as my dad's professor. But again, Teachers for Kinky is one of the bumper stickers, kinkyfriedman.com. How do people, if they're out there listening all across Texas, and it's pretty clear you're going to run. You're going to run. We can tell you're running. How do they get some of these bumper stickers?
Well, kinkyfriedman.com. Just go to that and order them. And by the way, last time, I don't know how many do we have, Juford, over 70,000 small donations to the campaign, contributions. We had more than any other way more than any other candidate. And we were doing something that Obama did successfully and Ron Paul did successfully. And I think it's the people that are going to make the differences. I don't think it's the money. I think it's really the people being the lifeblood of politics.
Absolutely. Specifically, getting into this campaign, you were making some great points during that last break. We should have that on air behind the scenes. You were breaking down, I was saying, Democratic Party, how are they taking your run in the party instead of an independent?
Well, it's early days to tell. Many statewide Democrats are embracing me and saying it's great, this is what you should have done last time, and they're right. I should have, because I would be the governor. But the Democratic establishment is tough, Alex. A lot of them have been presided over so many losses now for 18 years, ever since Ann Richards, that they're used to falling on their swords. They're used to being purists, and purists just don't get it done. And I'll give you an example why I like a common sense, old school, pragmatic approach to things. Is that I'm a Democrat, but I'm also a Texan. By that I mean I'm a libertarian. I'm a populist. You look at, if this had been 5 years ago, we would have thought libertarians are creeps. They're weirdos. They're just a fringe. I'd say most Texans are libertarian.
Well, they've done national studies, and over 50% of Americans, when asked libertarian questions in a blind study, then identify as libertarians. Look at the Ron Paul revolution, and I agree with you. They're going to support you over Perry and Kay Bailey Hutchinson.
In a heartbeat, and I'll tell you something else. It's not about big government or small government. It's about efficient government. That's what it's about. And Ron Paul was the only one I know who called this financial economic disaster 2 years ago, right? He said that. Everybody said he's crazy. This George Bush, the MBA from Harvard, never saw it coming. Obama never saw it coming. Ron Paul did see it coming. And the Ron Paul people, I feel a real affinity for them.
And Ron Paul also said the way this bailout was going to happen was going to make it worse. And now the head of the World Bank had to come out 2 days ago and say, we are basically screwed. So we certainly need you as governor here in Texas instead of Perry. I mean, look at Perry saying we might secede, spinning the national movement for states' rights. It's not secession into something like secession so we could be demonized. And then later they said, are you serious? He said, no, I was just joking. I mean, it's like you said, he is jumping, on this states' rights bandwagon when he won't even protect the border.
Except secession might be a good idea because we get rid of Rick Perry. That might be the only way we can do that.
Will he be here for life if we don't get rid of him? I mean, it's just...
He will if he's as lucky as he's been. He will be the Hugo Chavez of Texas, and he'll be the governor for life. It's really sad, Alex, because I can't think of one... I'll challenge Rick Perry to a tequila drinking contest. I'll do anything to get this man to interact with the people of Texas just a little bit. And I can't think of one thing he's done for the people.
What about more debates?
10 years.
Shouldn't we have 5 or 6 debates instead of one?
Jesse told you what happened. He said Kinky had trouble with his debate there. He said, but he had trouble with his first debate, but there were 15 more of them. And he got better and better as it went, as he caught on to it.